Have you been anxiously waiting patiently for some new Canon telephoto lenses, some super telephoto lenses? Perhaps a 200 to 500 millimeter f4, or one of those fixed apertures like a 1200 millimeter or even a 2000 millimeter. Well, we've got details coming up, but first I encourage you to subscribe and choose all notifications so that you can stay up to date on all the latest camera gear, news, and rumors. Early this morning, Canon Rumours posted this, and they said that they'd been told that a popular super telephoto lens will get an RF mount and a completely new design. And we all know how much I love super telephoto lenses. A couple of years ago, shortly after getting the Canon EOS R5, I got my hands on the 800mm f11. That's right, a super telephoto 800 millimeters, but it's got a fixed aperture. But that didn't stop me from getting really incredible shots of, well, seagulls and other wildlife, or even pointing it to the stars and capturing, well, not the stars, but the moon. And I even captured the Saturn and Jupiter conjunction. And I was really impressed with the level of detail that I was able to get this lens. And these shots that I got of the stars, well, it's in the greater Toronto area. There's a lot of light pollution, and still I got some really good clarity. And I was really excited by this lens. The fact that I could actually, in my hands, afford a super telephoto lens like the 800 millimeter was pretty impressive for around $1,000, or, well, I think now it's $999, but it's around $1,000, and that's a really affordable price point for a super telephoto lens. Compare it to the RF 100 to 500 millimeter, this guy right here, and it's considerably more. That lens cost me $4,300 Canadian, or about $3,000 US. So what super telephoto lens are we supposed to be getting shortly? Is it supposed to be a big white, or is it going to be one of those fixed aperture like a 1200 or even 2000 millimeter lens? Well, Canon Rumours didn't say. Canon Rumours did say that they would expect to see a replacement for the 200 to 500 millimeter f4 on the EF, or even the 500 millimeter f4. But in terms of what lens we'd exactly get, Canon Rumours said that the source didn't divulge the exact lens that we can expect to see announced in the next month or two. Yeah, all right, so we don't have a whole lot. We are getting some more lenses coming out, and it's going to be a super telephoto. It could be the 200 to 500 millimeter f4, or even a 500 millimeter f4 in the RF mount. Maybe it could be one of those fixed aperture 1200 or 2000 millimeter lenses, and I'm not making these up. Well, somebody is. They were rumored to be coming out, well, a couple of years ago, and we haven't heard anything about them since. I love super telephoto lenses, and I really do love the quality that Canon puts into some of their lenses, but the 800mm prime and the 1200mm prime, well, they're just way too expensive, at least for me, at least for what I do. But the 800mm f11, I still say that lens has given me more enjoyment and more fun than any other lens. And yes, I love the 24 to 105 and the 50mm. They're just such serious lenses. They allow me to do really incredible things. But the amount of times I just smiled and gasped with the results I got from the 800mm. A couple of years ago, I was shooting the Saturn and Jupiter conjunction, and I got out, I think it was the Friday before the actual conjunction. We had about 3 days to go. But I thought, you know what, let's get out now, let's test things out and see how well it does. And I'm glad I did, because for the next 3 weeks, we had cloud cover. But I was amazed. I was truly amazed with the results. When I was looking through the LCD and even the viewfinder, all I saw was, well, basically starred pinpricks of information, of light. But once I got back to the studio and I took a clear look, this is what I saw. I was truly impressed with the level of detail that I could see Saturn and Jupiter in the same frame, and I could see the rings of Saturn, sadly not Jupiter, but the rings of Jupiter are rather faint. I'd need a much better lens, but I was truly impressed with it. And for the price, you're not going to have any sort of buyer's remorse with the lens. And that's why I'd love to see another affordable Canon RF super telephoto lens. A 1200 millimeter, for example. And that might not seem like a huge improvement over the 800 millimeter, but when you're punched in that far, when you're going with a 2x extender, when you're shooting the stars, when you're shooting wildlife, to be able to punch in that much further, and then shooting 8K over sample 4K and cropping even again, wow, it's just impressive what you can see, how close you can get. I'd really love to see an affordable 1200 millimeter lens, or even 2000 millimeters. I think what Canon's doing with the 600 and 800 millimeters, even though it's a fixed aperture, is an idea in the right direction. I just do wish for a couple of $100 more, they'd give us some sort of variable aperture. That would help an awful lot. But still, what lens would you like to see Canon come out with within the next couple of months? Would you like to see a super telephoto, a big white, or some other lenses? Canon Rumours did say that we were supposed to get this announcement in the next month or two. And of course, what do we have coming up in the next month or two? Well, we have CP Plus, which is supposed to be happening starting on February the 23rd, going to the 26th. Now, previously I'd said it's February the 2nd, 2023. And the reason being, if you take a look at this image here on their website, what does it say? February.2.23. And yes, it does say the 26th a little bit later. The first number I saw, and I thought, well, February 2nd, 23, right? Yeah, I don't know what they were doing. It's February the 23rd to the 26th. So we can start to get some major announcements around CP Plus. Sometime about the Sunday before, we should start to get some camera announcements. We should start to get some lens announcements. But leading up until then, we'll probably get some leaked information, at least coming from Canon. I also expect to get some announcements from Nikon as well as Sony. So we should start to get more information coming out. We should start to get more, well, leaked announcements, leaked photos, leaked specifications of cameras and lenses. And I'm getting pretty excited, but I really did enjoy having the last week off. There was no news, so I didn't produce any content. And it's still been really busy for me. My day job's been taking up a lot of time. I'm going for recertification on TOGAF for TOGAF 10, so that's an awful lot of fun. Well, not really. I love the content, I love the information, but the studying material is, well, rather dry. It's like learning and memorizing a reference manual, but also putting that into context so I can use the information. So over the next couple of weeks, we should start to get more information, more leaked information about lenses, cameras, especially from Canon. What about the R50, the R100, R1000, and that Canon EOS R5 Mark II? Canon Rumours on Black Friday leaked a whole bunch of specifications on the Canon EOS R5 Mark II and hasn't received any validation, or at least hasn't published anything yet. So I'm really looking forward to that camera. We've heard nothing about the Canon EOS R1. And of course, Nikon, the Z6 Mark III, the Z7 Mark III, the Z8. We're expecting an awful lot of news coming out over the next couple of months. And if you want to stay up to date on all the latest camera news and rumors, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, but also don't forget to hit that like button and make sure you choose all notifications so that way as soon as I publish a new video, you'll get notified by YouTube. And if you're interested in purchasing any of the lenses or gear mentioned in this video, well, at least the ones that are already out, please consider using my affiliate links for B&H and Amazon.com. I get a small commission back and it really helps this channel grow. Have yourself a great Monday and we'll see you again soon.